We are in the middle of the thing. We are in the middle of the thing. It's May. Oh no, not my axe. Bastards. I need to craft another axe.
Doing that skit.
Do 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 do. Na 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 na. Scuba's on. Oh, now my... Oh, whatever. Sambu.
Oh, Metroid on here earlier.
Yeah, Metroid is on there somewhere. I know it's there. Cause Iron Nugget.
There it is.
Flimsy net. No. I need some hard wood. sailing.
Yeah, well, cameras are on, but apparently the mics were not. That's weird. I thought I turned the mics on. Oh well.
Oh well.
Anyways, hi.
Yeah, they can't hear us, but hey, we were playing in silence actually.
Yeah, we were.
Meditating into our switches right here.
Yep.
Switches. So yeah.
So yeah, hey, we're back. How you guys doing? We missed y'all.
Howdy. Welcome back. Sailing with us, Scuba and The Ry.
Yes, we are back after kind of a impromptu break, but we're back. We're gonna be doing this thing again.
Yeah.
So
That's where playing our. Yes, exactly. I thought I stopped it. It wanted to keep playing.
it did. It probably did. It probably did. Oh, turn mine off because I don't want to run the battery down. Anyways, so Ry, how you been?
I have been pretty well, just busy with a lot of different things going on in life. You know, a month goes pretty fast, goes pretty fast. I didn't even realize it's July, so that means that year is halfway done. So, lots of things going on over here, I had a birthday, the 35th birthday. Did some fun things then. Lots of watching shows, lots of games. Writing, actually, I did start on another story. So, I've been working on that. 2 chapters in. So, I don't know when I'll be done with that. Missed you too, May. It's great to be back. Other than that, venturing out to different places. Gone out the farmhouse a few times. They have a lot of different ciders, which I have stacked the fridge with. So, I made sure. Because they change out their ciders, so you never know when they're going to make them again.
What time do they close?
9. It's okay.
You gotta get out there. Maybe we'll go out there later this week.
It sounds good. But yeah, just celebrated my birthday. Checking out different places. Friends introducing me to other food places I didn't know about, which I'll tell you about later. My best friend's birthday we celebrated over the weekend, and other than that, 4th of July fireworks and other shenanigans that involve drinking. So, yes, that's what I've been doing every weekend since the last time, people. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah, what a great guy he is. He doesn't even call me when he's going out.
I just don't pick up the phone. I just end up places. People invite me, I go, and I just kind of chill.
Just do the things, right?
Do the dang of things. But, other than that, just busy at work. Training. So.
Work has been kind of crazy for me as well. So it's doing the job thing again. And sometimes pressure builds up and it's got to release and something's going to give. Question is what do you do when that happens? So that's kind of what happened here. But we're back. We're going to have fun. We're going to do some things. We're going to change up the way things flow and roll. One of those things is we're going to tell you right now, we're going to bring back our Patreon only after show. Now that we have some patrons or whatever. So it's just so telling here now at the top of the hour, so to speak, is when we get done with the show tonight, when we get done with the main part of the show, we're going to roll over to a live stream that'll be just to those members on our Patreon site, patreon.com/Scuba Studio. And you can jump on over there, and if you're a patron, and then we can talk. It'll be an AMA. It'll be kind of more interactive, and we're just going to go on with some more stuff we've been talking about. Maybe some things we didn't want to talk about on the live show, or some things we'll revisit on the live show. Maybe some bonus reviews. Who knows? We're just gonna go with it. We're just gonna go with the flow.
It's extra stuff, extra fluff, but it's for you subscribers.
Oh man, even Mayflower's getting in on the. You're not inviting me out to go out and hang out. See, this is why we missed you guys. We missed you.
Yeah, I gotta be called out, but I'm lazy, so I don't call.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's been, but yeah. So shout out to Sirenscape. Sirenscape.com for background music and soundboards. We use those here on the podcast. We have forever and probably will continue to use them.
Yep.
This is a sound set I curated just for the podcast. So we got a little forest ambiance, and maybe the minstrel's trying to earn a couple of coins so he can go to farmhouse with the rest of us.
Oh, yes. Let's do it, people.
What do we got for tonight? We got a couple of movie reviews we're going to talk about, and we're going to talk about Black Widow, and we're going to talk about Tomorrow War.
Oh yeah.
And maybe some stuff, maybe some other stuff as we kind of go with it. But yep. And part of my planning was kind of thrown out of the water because of a last minute work thing, but it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. And July means my best of 5 list, people.
So movies, conversation, we'll see how it goes. We got some interesting odds and ends. And just to say right now, if you have not seen the video that dropped of Deadpool reacting to Free Guy trailer, you should go do that. I will not play it here because we were supposed to be a family show, and we all know that Deadpool is not exactly family, but search the YouTube at your own discretion. There's a link in our Discord on the general chat if you have not seen it already.
Deadpool reaction to Free Guy. Enjoy.
Taika Waititi and Ryan Reynolds playing off each other is comedy gold.
It is the greatest thing ever. Did you realize that they were in Thor's house in New Asgard?
No, I didn't realize that. I was too busy laughing at the commentary.
Oh yeah, I was laughing, and then when I settled down, I was like, oh wait, that's the house in New Asgard. So, what does that say about Deadpool in the MCU?
Oh, Mayflower, you're a moderator. You can jump in there anyway. So don't be worried. You'll be able, you're a moderator. You get the VIP access.
The mods can see
mods
it
get
all.
the VIP access. So no worries there. I'll make sure the link's posted in the mod chat on the Discord. You can check it out. It'll be an unlisted. It's going to be unlisted. So that's how it works when you do those kind of private streams for Patreon. You have to have it unlisted. FYI, in case you were curious. Anyways, so yeah, you've been doing the birthday thing and the back and forth. What have I been doing?
Yeah, what have you been doing?
I've been doing a lot of shit. I've been doing a lot.
You've been getting into more shenanigans of other kinds.
You know what? I like shenanigans. Shenanigans are fun.
Yes.
I've had several weeks of my stress has been less in some aspects, has been more in others, but it's relative. I spent some time reorganizing the studio area, the crafting area, because what you guys don't know is in the background, I had like this pile of clutter that would just migrate from one table to another.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, one of the first things I did after I was like, you know what, I'm pulling the plug on everything. I got to take a step back. I need self-care. Is I broke down that list of that pile of clutter. I put everything away. I got some new organizational things in the studio to place all that stuff. So now I have a cleaner environment. I finally got the one table on wheels so it can move around. I've started work on the chair, but that's taking a little bit longer. If you've been following the studio on Instagram, you've seen a couple of images about some projects I've been working on here in the house.
Yep.
Over the July 4th weekend, I went out and braved the fireworks at the city park. That was a nightmare.
See,
not so much the park, not so much the vendors, not so much the fireworks. The problem is the parking.
yes.
They put you out in the field, and when you get out there, it's like they have these guys out there, right? They're out there, and they give you all the traffic cones and the signals and say, park here, park here. It's great.
Yeah.
At the end of the night, it's fend for yourself, and it took no kidding, Ryan, no kidding. From the time I got in the Jeep and turned it on to the time I hit the light after getting out of the park was damn near 45 minutes.
That light right there at Greenbrier.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Damn near 45 minutes sitting there. And I had just gotten the Jeep back too, because another thing that happened was my Jeep broke. The radiator burst. So I had to replace the radiator on my Jeep. Yay. But actually it wasn't bad. It gave me a chance to also replace a sensor that had been acting up. And if I were to replace the sensor by itself, it'd be like a $1,200 job.
Yeah.
But since they're already in the engine bay replacing the radiator, they went ahead and took care of the sensor at the same time.
That's a
and
good
gave me a discount on labor. So $2,800 later, the Jeep's fixed and running pretty good. So I'm happy.
Hey, you put in the money to make it run. So
that, and I started doing some trade work again, helping my dad out with another project house. That was fun. That's been fun. It really sucks. I can't move. I mean, but most of us, our parents are an easy 20 years ahead of us.
Yeah.
But and with my dad, he had knee replacement. He had a knee replacement surgery. He's a little overweight. Like I'm overweight too, but I'm bigger than him. And he's, and he's got me by about 20 years. Yet he can move around a lot easier than I can for certain things. And that makes me feel bad on a number of levels.
Oh yeah.
Not the least of which is my own concern about my own personal health. But still doing the trainer thing. We worked out today, and actually I feel pretty good. I don't feel like my arms are gonna fall off because they worked. But I mean, I got a good workout on. It was great. I did order a new toy.
Uh-oh. What kind of toy?
Well, I'm back to work, and everybody's coming back to work. For like the first month or so I was in the office, I wouldn't see anybody.
Yeah.
Because this whole group of team was mainly remote. Now everybody's starting to come back to the office, which is cool. Well, a couple people I get to reconnect with and talk to. I had a passing conversation with a coworker about one of those under desk bicycles type things. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. It's like it's just a pedal. You set on your desk, you kind of pedal on it. I found one online last night that's more of an elliptical machine that you can put on your desk, and I decided to splurge and pick one up, and it should arrive this week. So hopefully that will help me get some more activity. Because be honest with you, it looks like I got some fluid retention. So it's like my legs are like bigger than they should be. And it's like when I put on socks and stuff, it's like, it's really kind of weird afterwards. Cause like you get all the lines and stuff.
Yeah.
Some of you might know what I'm talking about. It's really disconcerting when you notice it, but when you're ignoring it, it's not so bad. But when you're moving and it doesn't work, yeah. Anyway, so I'm not going to keep going into that. But I'm working in the shop. I'm doing trade stuff. It feels great to be working with my hands. Feel great to be there. And it got me really thinking about what I want to do in content. So I've been putting out some impromptu random videos. My dad helped me repair the door on the front door because it'd been busted for a while.
Yep.
Helped me rebuild my gate, which was a whole nightmare and a half because we got to pull the gate off, right? We pull the gate off, and then it's like, all right, I'm looking at it. And the post that holds the hinges really loose. And we're sitting there working it. Come to find out, the whole bottom of the post had rotted all the way through.
Okay.
So, and this is one of those, it's like, it's concreted in. So it's like, my dad and I are sitting there going, okay, how are we going to get this out? What are we going to do? Because it's concreted in. And I don't have post hole diggers. I don't have any of the cool shovels my dad has, and didn't think to have him bring any of them over when he was helping me redo the gate. But it was like, okay, well, they make a spike, or you can get it home at the big box store.
Okay.
It's a metal spike that holds the post. You drive that in, then you bolt the post to the top. Really cool. So we were thinking we would drive that in, break up the concrete, and that would hold the post. Then I remembered something.
What do you remember?
I remember I had an old tool in the garage.
Interesting.
When my dad I got a bunch of old tools a while back. I'm working on, it's in my goal to try and restore them.
Okay.
Well, one of these is an electric jackhammer.
Okay. I'm visualizing.
Now, visualize that the case on this is the original case.
Okay.
Now, this will give you an idea if any of you guys are tool buffs or no tool buffs. This case looks like it's wrapped in duct tape. It's kind of a painted canvas, and the structure is plywood. This is a briefcase-looking case where the structure looks like gray. There's a picture on my Instagram, on the studio Instagram. Inside is this electric jackhammer. Now, this thing, judging from the text on the instruction page, I'm willing to estimate that this is circa 1950s, 1960s.
Okay.
And I've been sitting collecting dust or spider webs. I don't dust, I have spider webs. Collecting spider webs in the garage. So I pulled it out, and I was talking to my dad about it, and it's like, yeah, I forgot we had that too. I was like, yeah, no. I was like, I'll just plug it in, see if it works. Yeah, what the hell? Plugged it in, pulled the trigger. Like, it's on like Donkey Kong.
Time to go to town.
Sure enough, it broke up that concrete like it was butter.
No,
it was great.
That's always a good.
It was great. But it was fun. It was fun. It was fun. Got it broken up, got the new concrete, new post in, set, all that stuff. So now I have a new gate, new front door, some other projects. We were looking to actually redo the deck.
Okay.
And I wanted to get the Trax decking. Now, this to tell you, if you're a construction materials and stuff, the Trax decking is like this composite board decking.
Okay.
Nice thing with this stuff, you put it on, you forget about it, it's good, right? You never have to replace it. It doesn't rot. Doesn't weather it doesn't weather much at all. Problem is, when I go to look for the decking, my big box store is telling me, "Oh yeah, we'll get a shipment in November."
That's really? I mean, it's close but far.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, I guess we're holding off on that project. But
yeah, I would too.
But yeah, it's starting to do more of those things. Gonna look at trying to get some more videos. I got a Skillshare account, so I'm trying to do some classes, but work has been crazy.
Oh yeah.
So, but that's what I've been doing. I'm back. We're back. We're doing these things, and
returned for you.
D&D games are D&D game. There is a D&D game that is coming back. It's coming back at the end of the month. So I'll tell you right now. Challenge accepted will return on
for you
Saturday, July 31st at 7 p.m. Eastern. Because you know what, I got to be up early in the morning now. So I'm trying to shift my games towards a little more reasonable for time.
There you go.
Hopefully we'll go with that is, but we will come back to Challenge Accepted on July 31st. You'll be able to do that Saturday, July 31st, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on this channel. You can watch the D&D shenanigans resume with our group of adventurers in Saltmarsh. That being said, talk about some movie reviews.
All right.
Yeah, Skillshare is the best. I love it. Get an account if you can get an account. It's great. Let's talk about movies.
Movies.
And first up, we're going to talk about Black Widow.
Black Widow is on deck, my friends. Long and awaited. Finally,
after what, 2 years of waiting for a year of waiting for this. This was the next Marvel film. This is the solo film for Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow. This is centered in between Captain America: Civil War and Avengers: Infinity War.
Correct.
So this is what happened to her after the events of Civil War. And I gotta tell you, man, I had a lot of fun watching this movie. A buddy of mine's birthday was this past week. This is what he wanted to do for his birthday. So we all went out to the movie theater to watch this film. I was not disappointed. I had a lot of fun watching it. And actually, I'll tell you, this was the first film that you can also get on. You can get this on Disney Plus Premium.
Yes,
but this is the first one that they put on Disney Plus Premium that I'm actually willing to go ahead and pay the $30 just so I could watch this again.
Oh, really?
I had so much fun watching this and was laughing my head off. This is such a funny film. The dialogue in this is absolutely brilliant. Ry, tell us about this film.
All right, so Black Widow is a movie that was supposed to come out over a year ago. We know why it didn't, and finally it hit the big screen for all of us geeks out there that love Marvel. And just to reiterate what Scuba said, it follows our favorite Black Widow character, Natasha Romanoff, played by Scarlett Johansson, as she tries to piece together her past and finds that many things in her past are left unanswered. So while she's trying to clean up her past, she's also trying to find her purpose again after the events of Civil War. So we find her on the run. She's living in the shadows. So you get a lot of the familiar kind of Marvel layering,
kind of espionage flair for the most part. I mean, this is an espionage film.
Yeah. So you get in the beginning, you get that mixture of that basic origin tale that you're familiar with Marvel, but like you said, it has those espionage elements in the beginning. So once you get introduced to Natasha, she gets pulled in back into her old world, her old working in the shadows before she joined the Avengers. What brings her back into the past is actually very strong familial ties, and that's what the first half is, because it's more of a backstory, because you get to see her childhood, you get to see how they were living with this family under pseudo names because of a reason, and then it flashes forward back to watching her on the run and getting her dragged back by her sister, who is played by Florence Pugh, Yelena. So now that they're teamed up together, now they're on this mission to take out the Red Room, which Black Widow thought she took out in the past. Not going to explain why or how. Not going to spoil it. But through that, you get your action, get your action, your thrills, your car chases. But what makes this film is the family element. What grounds this movie is the introduction to her sister, her father, Lexi, played by David Harbour. My favorite character in the movie, by the way, just going to say that, Red Guardian, and Mother Milena. And it's that dynamic of that family tie that brings you into the film and grounds you to all the action that's happening. Because what you realize, like Scuba said, this is an espionage spy film. So it does a little bit turns from being a superhero film and grounds all the action. So everything's relevant and real, very on your toes, in your face. But as the story continues and you start to see that stronger dynamic of the family, you start to realize how it becomes a very ominous layer to what the sinister elements that the Red Room is. And once you start to pick up on those and you start to see that personal context of these other Black Widows that are coming after her, you realize that it is more very strong on a very personal character level. You see that there's a reason why Natasha Romanoff wants to take care of the Red Room once and for all, not just for her own sake, but for everybody that's involved. And because of that, that lifts it up past just the general spy thriller elements and makes it more of a dynamism that you experience from every Marvel film. There's a core element that makes this stand out, and it's because of those elements that are very subtle and sweet and comedic. Red Guardian.
Just him. I mean, come on.
There's a lot of one, but I'm just gonna aim, like, he's still my favorite character. Just him, especially when you get introduced to him in the prison. Not gonna say how and why. It's just great, but it is what lifts this film beyond a lot of the basic stuff and a lot of the twists that happen. That makes you root for Natasha finding herself again, finding her purpose again, and they do a good job of pushing her forward, but filling in all the answers from the past. So
yeah, overall, this was a lot of fun to watch. Yep. Mayflower, I know you haven't watched a lot of the Marvel films. Make the time to watch this one. It is really enjoyable, and you don't really need to have a lot of the other films for context for this.
Very standalone.
Yeah, this one's great. Yeah. This one's great in that respect.
Yeah.
But also, it's the fact, again, the dynamics, and this really does make what happens to Natasha in Endgame even a little bit more bittersweet. And it's really was a lot of fun seeing how this kind of just evolved.
Yeah.
And it's, again, it shows this cast is hilarious.
It's a great mixture of that dysfunction of a family that isn't really a family, but you feel and see it because of where they came from and where they're going, and how all of that stuff in the middle creates a bond again.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but definitely. Ry, what'd you give this one?
Overall, I think this is a very great return for Marvel. It's got a lot more strengths than weaknesses in it. So overall, worth the full price of admission. 4 out of 5.
Same here. I like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed this, and I would totally pay the $30 to watch this on Disney Plus before November, just because it was that much fun to watch. And there was a lot of different things going on, and again, the dynamic between Scarlet or Natasha and Yelena is absolutely hilarious.
And some of the jabs she does to Black Widow, I'm going to leave it at that.
There's so much meta going on in this. It is a riot.
All I'm going to say is, disgusting. That's all I'm going to say. Scuba knows what I'm talking about, but I'll leave it to y'all to figure out what I'm talking about.
The line is poser.
Is it poser?
Such a poser. Okay.
Oh, I'm talking about when she does it.
Oh yeah, that too. But
disgusting.
But yeah, go check this out. This was a lot of fun. So yeah, both of us 4 out of 5. Read the review on ryreviews.com for more information and more in depth on that. And our next film we're going to chat about is The Tomorrow War with Chris Pratt.
Tomorrow Wars.
This one is on Amazon Prime. So if you have a Prime membership, you can totally check this film out.
Yes, sir.
It is, again, another really enjoyable film. Chris Pratt, the whole premise of this is Earth is being invaded by aliens 30 years in the future. So they have exhausted their resources and figured out how to time travel to the past to try and enlist the help of the past to save the future.
Yep.
Basic sci-fi time travel trope.
Basic.
We know it.
Yep.
We love it. Let's see what happens. So this is a wild ride in the terms of so many things with this film. There's so many different sci-fi genres in this film.
Yeah, it meshes up a lot of things that you would recognize if you've seen Alien or Terminator or anything
Terminator.
sci-fi. Independence Day. Yeah.
Not so much ID4. I don't think ID.
The foundational level was on a basic level, but
Yeah.
more of the latter. But
Oh, happy late birthday, Scott.
happy birthday!
But yeah, so this one it has a few elements, but overall it's very enjoyable. There's a nice story of family in there, and kind of that Christmas Carol type element of family.
Yeah.
Where Chris Pratt's character has a chance, because it's time travel, has a chance to choose a different path.
Yeah.
When the opportunity arises, which is really great. But I think the family element really kind of struck, and I really enjoyed that. Right? Tell us about this.
Yes, the Tomorrow War. 30 years in the future, they come back, recruit the past for the future. The main character is Dan Forrester, played by Chris Pratt, and everything centrals all around him. He's a high school science teacher with a family, but struggles to find some kind of purpose in his current life. And then when this situation happens, it actually leads to him creating a more genuine bond of trying to find himself, but within this sci-fi sandbox of a film. What you have is a film that it does very great in laying the foundations of all the basic sci-fi tropes that you know, but is able to play around with the gimmick in a way that's genuine and different. The way they play with time travel is explained very well and done great. The sci-fi elements, once they get into the future, there's certain build-ups of characterization and relationships that happen between characters, not spoiling, but there is a genuine purpose for everybody to find a way to take out these aliens. And what I liked about is that even though there's a lot of basicness and a lot of the characters are very archetypal, it builds up that main character, guys, and like you said, builds up that familial tone that makes you feel all the adrenaline that is in this movie, all the tension, all the horror, all the meddling that happens with these aliens. And these aliens just don't care. Like, they are scary, and the way that they ground everything within the sci-fi element is great. There's very strong science and logic to everything that's building up. There's promising elements, and then I build this film as two halves of a whole, and I've done that with films in the past. And the reason is because there's a lot of strong elements that move this film beyond what is expected to be. And then when certain things happen in the latter half, it kind of devolves away from some of that potential, but doesn't completely take away from the enjoyment, because you're still with Dan Forrester, you're still with him in the fight, you still want him to go on this, like you said, Scuba, on this different path after learning certain things. And it leads to a hero's triumph that you are genuine of rooting for.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much.
I'm dancing around things because it's better that you dance on the surface without spoiling things with the movie.
Yeah, we don't want to spoil it. If you want to spoil a conversation, we might do that in the after show. Yep, the after show we might do that.
But what's your rating, Scoob, before I give mine?
I gave this one a 3.5 out of 5. Overall, there isn't really anything that truly disappointed me about it. Actually, so yeah, I'd probably go more with a 4, because it really was enjoyable to watch. If issues I had, any issues with the film were not glaringly obvious after watching it. Who's itches for some reason? Why? Anyway, so
lucky nose.
I guess.
And lucky nose.
But yeah, this was actually a lot of fun, and this was a different character for Chris Pratt to play.
Yeah, he was very more astute and stern. He wasn't as comedic. And
he had his moments, but I like how this one it's not, you know, some actors when they get in their role, right? When they get into that role and they become really recognizable. Sometimes they tend to keep playing that character every time they're in a film.
Yeah.
We've seen that with several others. But with this, we've seen him. I mean, when we look at his Star-Lord, when we look at his character out of the new Jurassic World films,
and even if you go back to the TV show Parks and Rec,
was all of these guys are different characters. So this gives me a lot of appreciation for Chris Pratt as an actor, and he was executive producer on this.
Yeah.
So and this was a really good film in a lot of that, because it didn't feel very over the top like Battlefield LA or Cloverfield or District 9. This felt more kind of grounded, and it felt like the story, it felt like the sci-fi elements were flavoring.
Yeah.
But they didn't try to retread it.
No.
And it didn't veer too far away from the primary message of family.
Yeah.
In this film.
It's very strong.
Because you have a lot of things playing at him between his issues with his dad, who, J.K. Simmons, seriously, great addition.
Yeah, he's in there just a little bit, but that little bit makes you go, yep, that's why he won an Oscar. So a lot of fun. Like I said, 4 out of 5 for me. Ryan, what about you? Overall, it was a film that displays promise and fully. It's very strong for the most part. But I took it down a notch just but a bit. 3.5 out of 5 matinee. I didn't have issues with it, but there's some things that are very obvious, but doesn't take away. But I would have loved to see this on the big screen. So 3.5 out of 5.
Oh. Alrighty. So, what are we going to talk about next?
Well, it is mid-year, and there's a list I put out mid-year.
There's also Loki.
Okay. Loki can get the spotlight.
Loki, last episode comes out tomorrow morning. I can't wait.
So, what do you think is going to happen?
I don't know. But looking at everything that's happened prior, I think it was absolutely brilliant the way they did it. I've said it before, I really enjoy the analog aesthetic of the TVA. I really enjoy Owen Wilson's character in the film. And I really enjoy how you're kind of swept up in this. And there's so many different things going on where you really kind of question, like, what's going on here? This is a fun ride.
I have enjoyed Loki. I loved how it is actually a very character-driven series by twisting you with foreign elements that are completely out of this world, but they ground it in a way with the Loki character. That's what I like about it, and it keeps you guessing. You really don't know. You can make predictions, but you're probably going to be veering completely off from where it's going to be.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I have thoughts and ideas of where it's going to end, but I'd rather be surprised.
Another one for me is Bad Batch. You've been following Bad Batch?
I've kind of fallen off of Bad Batch. I don't know why. I just kind of haven't, but I will catch up at some point. So, what are you thinking about Loki or Bad Batch? Where is it at now?
The latest episode of Bad Batch is arguably the best episode yet, because they totally flipped it on its head. Okay. This episode, the episode that was released last week, The Devil's Deal is what it's called. The Bad Batch is a side character. This is actually a story centered on Ryloth.
Yeah.
And this is an episode that bridges Clone Wars and Rebels.
Okay.
So you have all the characters there. Because this is Cham Syndulla, his wife, who we actually get to see now, and Hera as a teenager. And the Bad Batch actually showed up as a side character, not the primary focus of the episode. But the episode was so good because it was just so many of these other things that are happening in the film. So I was really enjoying that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm eventually catch up. I've been watching a lot of random other stuff. But yeah, definitely going to catch up on it. I can't remember the last episode I watched, but I think I'm only 2 or 3 back. So not too hard of a watch to catch up.
No, a couple hours.
But other than that, no, just so many random TV shows for me.
I can talk about random TV shows. This is the funny thing. You know what? Sun's starting to set and I forgot to shut the shades. So if I go like this,
I mean, there's quite a few shows I've finished up on HBO.
Well, I finally got through Castlevania.
Okay.
Finally.
All 4 seasons?
Yes.
Okay.
I had dropped off at the end of season 2, so I hadn't seen 3 and 4. So I binged 3 and 4 back to back.
Okay.
I checked out. Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon?
That's one of my. Well, that is an anime I truly enjoy.
I was really enjoying that one too. I have to say I really like that one. The seasons 2, 3, and 4 are on Peacock.
Or Crunchyroll, if you have Crunchyroll.
I suspended my Crunchyroll because I'm not doing the Gundam stuff right now.
Okay.
2, 3, and 4 are on
Peacock.
Peacock.
Okay.
There's an additional series that's supposed to take place at the same time as season 1 that is on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Catch is it's all in Japanese, so it's all subtitled.
And well, you know, with me,
not that
anime, I watch everything in subtitles. But that's a series I enjoy. I've watched all 4 seasons of that, so it does build on the world.
But here's the thing I've been trying to find, and this is one of those things, because talking about creativity.
Okay.
Finding ways to feel creatively motivated. Because to be honest, I was feeling rather creatively stagnant lately.
Okay.
So I was trying to reinvigorate my creativity.
How?
Anime Flower, it's an interesting name. Check it out on Netflix.
Yes. If you want to, if you like anime, definitely check it out.
It's fun. It's fun.
If you,
it's in the same kind of animation style as Sword Art Online. So if you're a fan of that style, this one kind of is in that same vein. It's really enjoyable, especially if you're a D&D fan.
yeah, it does play the D&D. It does have its own rules of the world, so it sticks to its rules, which I appreciate. Because sometimes shows don't do that, regardless if it's animation or not.
But back to what I was saying is trying to find ways to feel creatively inspired again. One of those things I was trying to find is old school documentaries on the natural world, specifically paleontology. You would not believe how hard it is to find old school documentaries. Now I'm talking stuff circa 1990 to the early aughts. After that, documentaries kind of went the way of the dinosaurs.
Yes, they did. That's why I'm laughing.
And it was like, so I was trying to find some ones. Thankfully, History Channel has put a bunch of stuff up on their YouTube channel.
Well, that's always good.
So I just got done going through Life After People, which is great to watch again.
I think I've heard about that one.
It's a great one. It's a great show. But I was looking for some old school documentaries. And one of the things I kind of stumbled into was back into the DIY network.
Okay.
And went through the whole Garage Mahal stuff. And this is, again, interesting how TV has changed over the last 20 years. Here's what we're talking about.
That's a long time.
It is. It's a long time. But anyway, so here's the thing. 20 years. It used to be like the early aughts, the late aughts, early teens of 2020 or 2000s. It was the DIY shows with these kind of reality-based, semi-reality-based things, which were a lot of fun to watch. Looking at today's, it's like all the stuff that was really cool 10 years ago is like non-existent. And it's interesting how seeing some of these shows cycle. Like you go to History or Discovery right now, you can't find documentaries that really made you think. They're all
No.
reality shows.
Yeah. Like they've morphed, those channels have morphed into other things. Like History Channel used to be a lot of history, and then they brought in all those other shows, and then they started doing their own things, own creative things, and it started with Vikings. So
Yeah, that one. That's kind of not the same. Oh yeah, but Vikings is one of those. But a lot of the stuff on history is all reality show type things, like
isn't Pawn Stars on there?
Pawn Stars is history. Swamp People, Axemen.
Forge and Fire, is that another one?
Forge and Fire is a contest show.
Okay.
There is a contest show on History Channel that I have been meaning to watch, but if you're like me, who remembers the late 90s and remembers a little show called Home Improvement, if you remember that show,
Yes, I do.
there was a season made and produced during COVID, that is on the History Channel. It has Tim Allen and Richard Carr, or Al Borland, and the two of them are judging competitions for makers. Makers are given 5 days to come up with something, and then Tim and Al judge it, or Tim and Richard judge it. The cool thing, if you follow YouTube makers, is they had a technical expert whose name is April Wilkerson.
Okay.
Which she has a really interesting YouTube channel doing maker stuff, carpentry, things that I really enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So she was out there for that, and it was a lot of fun. I was talking to my dad about this last weekend. Is the show is I've been meaning to watch it, but from what I know of it, it looks like it was a lot of fun because it was filmed in Tim's garage, and he still has some of the sets from the Home Improvement Tool Time stuff. So it's just like, oh, this is hilarious if you're into nostalgia. But Ancient Aliens, I never got into that one, but there was like Wrath of the Gods, where they would talk about theology and the evolution of cultures and how those cultures are influence each other as you kind of work up.
Yeah.
There was a lot of really good ones like that. Life After People is probably the one I enjoyed the most, because the premise for that one, for those who don't know, is what if every person on the planet, poof, vanished? Blink of an eye. What would happen to all the stuff we created and all the ways we've tried to control the environment?
Yeah. I do remember that show.
Lots of fun. Lots of fun. Yeah, April Wilkerson on YouTube, really great. I was just watching or she was just making Adirondack bar stool. Really fun. But that's where I really want to get into making. But I still want to do some tabletop stuff, so I'll be going back to tabletops. Yeah. What do you want to talk about, Ryan? We got about 15 minutes before we roll over. We're about 40 minutes in. What do we want to talk about next?
Stream through.
You want to talk about goldfish that should not be released in the wild?
We could talk about those goldfish. We can talk about that expensive copy of Super Mario 64.
How expensive is it? Anything worse than the guy who paid $600 for Skyrim?
Well, take that 600 and super quadruple it by $1.5 million for for a sealed copy of Super Mario Bros. 64.
What?
Yep. Link in the chat, people.
A sealed copy?
In the same auction that Skyrim went for $600, a sealed copy of Super Mario 64 went for $1.5 million. $1.5 million for a copy of Super Mario Bros. 64.
Blood Bowl. Oh, that's Games Workshop. You gotta talk. Gotta talk. Blood Bowl seems like it'd be a lot of fun. But really? 1.5 mil for a sealed cartridge?
Yes, for a sealed cartridge that you probably can't play unless you really have a rigged up system or you go to a pawn shop. But hey,
I happen to have a Nintendo 64 on the attic, so I could probably play it.
Yeah, but you can also go to that same pawn shop and probably get it for cheaper than 1.5 million.
Or you can go to those places like Video Game Heaven and get one of those consoles that play retro games and outputs it at 1080p HDMI. Because tell me something, how hard is it to find a TV that still has AV hook?
It might be. I never think about it. I just make sure that the HDMI cables are there.
Yeah, I got the Switch, and I was sitting there thinking, I need a new HDMI. I need a new HDMI splitter. I need one that handles seven inputs.
I have a splitter for 3, but I don't ever plug in this Switch. I always play it handheld. So
I like the little base I got. Now, I mean, I got the Animal Crossing edition, but it's the first Switch in the house. Finally,
yeah,
that was a lot of fun to buy and play. And I got Monster Hunter Rise. I got Animal Crossing. Friend of ours gave us Civilization, and we picked up Mario Party.
You got a lot of games.
Oh, then the emulators for SNES and regular NES, and it's like, I'm good.
Yeah, you're good with the Switch.
Dude,
you got all those games.
$20 for a year for Switch Online? I mean, come on.
Yeah, I know.
That's the best price ever.
I still think Game Pass has a lot more value, but I can see for us that love those games, it does have value.
Yeah, but when you're talking Game Pass, $15 a month for a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool things. I don't need to buy Xbox games. Because all the games I want to play, they announced at E3. I've already got pre-downloaded
And
when they
ready
release.
Yeah, exactly. Same for me.
I think the next game I'm going to purchase for like PlayStation or Xbox will be Horizon Zero Dawn Forbidden West. Because that's still, unless they've changed it, that still should be dropping on PS4.
Oh yeah, it's going to be split PS4, PS5 because they still need to build up the sales. But speaking of buying new games, I did buy a new game recently called Scarlet Nexus. It is an action RPG in a very cel-shaded style, third-person perspective. And I did put a video or 2 up online, but it's very, very fun. It's very, very story-driven, and there's 2 paths you play through. I'm playing through the one path first, the female protagonist played called Kasane, and there's a male protagonist that you play through. It's 20 hours for both, and playing both will get the full story.
Actually, no, I take that back. I think I might buy Zelda Skyward Sword. I might.
Yeah.
Either that or Breath of the Wild.
Should get Breath of the Wild.
I think I might get Breath.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, fun.
Well, yeah, Scarlet Nexus has been pretty fun. I love it. Very fun action game. RPG elements. They use a very psychokinesis for the powers. So plus you have a team that you can utilize at whim for your own pleasure in the game. So it's fun. Also played a free game on that Game Pass called Control. The physics of that game is very, very interesting.
Yeah, Mayflower just put in there. She plays Animal Crossing, Mario Kart, and Cuphead. No, I'm saying no to Cuphead. I've heard too many horror stories. I'm surprised your Switch still works at how maddening, frustrating that game is.
No Cuphead, but yep, Animal Crossing for sure on the Switch. So
Definitely
those are
get Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, definitely get Breath of the Wild. I second that. So, but yep, those are 3 games I'm playing. Scarlet Nexus, Control, and Animal Crossing. So
yeah, I'm still getting into it. I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play some Monster Hunter Rise because got a buddy in the chat who does a lot of Monster Hunter stuff. So I figured if there's anybody who can teach me how to be a good hunter, then I will be definitely asking him. Yeah, and you should definitely check out his stuff over on Twitch. The Shadow Mains. His Twitch stuff is a lot of fun to watch. He does Monster Hunter, he does chess, and he does he dabbles in a little bit of D&D. I think he's running an Icewind Dale campaign right now.
Maybe.
But yeah.
Check it out, people. Shadow Main.
But yeah, definitely. But yeah, I'm going to try and get some more Rise. I thought Stories 2 was on mobile, and turns out it's on Switch. So it's like, I feel like I'm a game behind. But I think they underestimated how popular Stories 2 was gonna be.
Maybe. Who knows?
I don't know. I was in the GameStop. They were like, "Yeah, we don't have any copies."
Digital copy, maybe.
Probably gonna be the other way, but see, Nintendo stuff, I don't mind cartridges and discs.
Yeah.
I think they're still kind of held you over a barrel when it comes to the digital stuff. Because if you don't have internet, then you're kind of screwed.
I have my cartridges right here in my pack.
So yours is full. Yeah. See, I got the additional little clip-on hand grips to where it feels more like your Xbox or PlayStation controller, and it's got the slot for like 5 games right here. So that's kind of cool.
Yep.
A friend of mine recommended it. I was like, yeah,
right there.
Well, if you're not playing it,
I still gotta finish it.
Oh well. Anyways, Stories 1 is mobile. Yeah.
But
I need to play the first game, just play the second. I can go with that. Well, all right, here's what we're going to do. We are going to wrap this up for tonight on the live public show, and we are going to roll over to our after show, where it's going to be, if you're a Patreon member, it is going to be an AMA type of thing. We'll change it to where it's a little more interactive with the chat, a little more real time instead of this 10-second delay. And we're going to just kind of sit there and hang out for the next 20 to 30 minutes. And we're going to see if that's going to be the new way we do the podcast. I've been a little slacking on giving my Patreon something enjoyable. So we're going to try and remedy that with an after show.
After show for you guys.
Quick shout out and a thing to pay the bills. Ish. Sorta. I don't know. Again, a shout out to Sirenscape. Sirenscape.com for your background music and soundboards. Great people, lots of fun. They're actually running a cyberpunk game on Thursday nights on their YouTube channel. You want to go check that out. Yeah, Scuba and Ry After Dark. Sun's still up, but close enough. Shout out to all the moderators in the chat, all of you who've watched this video all the way to the end. You are awesome and amazing human beings. If you enjoyed this content, please hit the like button. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification so you can be notified when future videos come out, because future videos are coming. We are back. We are doing the podcast Tuesday nights. Pretty much going to be 7 p.m. Eastern, just because it's a little more realistic for other adult activities, I guess. And it gives us plenty of time for the after show. So,
yes, sir.
If you are a Patreon member, head over to patreon.com/Scuba Studio and keep an eye out for the next post, which has the link to the after show video. If you are not a Patreon member and want to support the studio via Patreon, you are more than welcome to. Head on over to patreon.com/Scuba Studio to check that out. Moderators, check the mod chat in a moment. You'll see that link. And with that, we will thank you for watching. Wish you all a wonderful evening, a wonderful week. Stay safe. Be happy, play games, all the things, and we will see you on our next stream. Bye, everybody.
Peace.